This is the BGG Climbers list for the week ending 3/17/2021. This is a list put together every week by Michael Alexander, and I'll be talking about the top 10 games and some other games that are on this list. If you like the video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. Also, I'll include links to the list in the description in case you want to subscribe to that. One other thing I'd like to note is that there is the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund auction going on through April 3rd right now. The link, I'll try to include it in the description, but you can also find it on the BGG homepage. This is a fundraising auction for the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund. If you want more information on that, take a look at the page and the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund. So let's get into it. So this week, we'll start off with number 25, and I'm going to mention this one because this is, I think, going to start climbing a lot faster. It actually just got a review from No Pun Included, and they really liked the game. Actually, they talked about some of the things that I thought looked really interesting from it, and they did talk about some of the negatives with this game and why they can't overwhelmingly recommend it. But I am hopeful that the publisher will put out more games like this that do fix those problems. Maybe I think that something like this you could even create in a more kid-friendly way. As they pointed out, it says 8+, but some of the I guess some of the things aren't super family friendly in the game for sure, and there are other things that made them uncomfortable, and I assume would make a lot of other people uncomfortable. But it is an exciting new way of presenting the whole crime, Where's Waldo combination into what sounds like an incredibly fun game. And I do want to try this out, although after the review, maybe not with my kids, but maybe we'll be fortunate enough to have Pegasus Spiel and the designers put out one that is more family friendly. So that's number 25. Another one I wanted to talk about on here. Oh, I will add, I think that one is probably going to hit the top 200, maybe even the top 100 after that review. It's just so strong. So this one is Shazam. So it's actually dropping a little bit. This game looks really interesting. I think it did pretty well on Kickstarter, although it doesn't look like the ratings are holding up, at least so far. So we'll have to see how it continues. I think this is a first-time designer though. So, I feel like the first game you design, sometimes you hit a home run, and other times, you hit a triple or a double, and it'll be interesting to see what this one is. And let's see what other one we're looking at. Oh, this is interesting. So we saw this earlier, Tortuga 2199. So this one must be starting to get received by the backers of the Kickstarter. This one looked really interesting. The ratings aren't too strong initially, but I'm interested to see it, or see how it does. It was a very interesting, I think, heavy or mid-heavy Euro when it was on Kickstarter. So let's see how that one does. And we've been watching all three of these. Sleeping Gods continues its run up, although the new ratings are a little bit lower than before. Maybe less enthusiastic backers, but I still think it's going to easily hit the top 100. And Dune Imperium is approaching the top 100, probably 3 to 4 more weeks. Red Rising is just outside the top 10, and it's not actually getting super strong ratings initially. I'm interested to play it because I think it's a new take on Fantasy Realms that maybe is better. Although Fantasy Realms has some unique stuff, or some good things about it. The fact that it's basically just deck of cards. This is a more in like a bigger box game than that. So I'm interested to try it out at some point. So number 10 is Steampunk Rally Fusion. This is interesting. So this was a Kickstarter. I'm not sure we've seen this on this list before. It's got, this one's the Steampunk Racing Kickstarter. And I looked at this when it came out, and it had a really good look to it. With the steampunk gears, with the transparent dice. Although I felt like it maybe wasn't my type of game. I'm not a huge racing game person. All the racing games I've played, minus the Camel Up, I haven't been a huge fan of. So I'm interested to see how people are rating this. It is I guess it's a pretty quick playing game. It's kind of medium lightweight and supposed to play a lot of players. Interesting. So it's getting decent comments. I think we'll see. Probably won't see it on the list for too many weeks, just because it is a Kickstarter, if I remember right. Yeah, Kickstarter. I think. Yeah, Kickstarter. And I'm not sure it's going to stay strong enough. It's already kind of on the lower scale for like a Kickstarter hyped game. So we'll have to see how that one does. So that is number 10, Steampunk Rally Fusion. Dominant Species Marines. This one's interesting. This was published, I think, by Chad Jensen. I believe he is no longer with us. I remember hearing the news on that. And this is a sequel to Dominant Species with a marine theme. I don't think it's changed too much. I don't know a whole lot about it more than that, but it's maybe some mechanics are reworked a little bit. The look of the game is very similar, I think. And I don't know if I'm going to play this one or not, just because I like some of the GMT games. I would say not their war game stuff, but like the Twilight Imperia or Twilight Struggle. And I have a copy of Dominant Species I really want to get to the table and play. One interesting thing with this is that it is limited to 4 players, where Dominant Species goes up to 6. So maybe that actually improves the game, although I feel like a lot of people that play Dominant Species wanted to play with the higher player counts. So that is Dominant Species Marine. Number 8 is Cantaloupe, Book 1, Breaking into Prison. So we looked at this last week. This one's actually picking up some speed here. So its new ratings are going up a little bit. And this is a Friedman Freeze game, who is famous for like Power Grid and stuff. But this is a mystery caper book game, I think. And probably a series because it's book 1. So, just with his star power, I would say he's going to get a lot of purchases of the game. We'll have to see how it does in the future. I mean, I'm interested to see if this is actually a better take or a worse take on the crime book series, or the adventure game thing, which is kind of, I think in the last few years has been resurrected, right? Like we've seen Chronicles of Crime. I mean, I guess kind of based off Time Stories. So Time Stories existed, and then Chronicles of Crime came out, which is a huge hit. I was kind of mixed on it. I thought the app worked out well, but I felt like the game was a little bit lacking. We had all these exit games, and now games like this and Micro Macro, which are taking a kind of maybe a new look on the genre. So that's number 8, Cantaloupe, Book 1. Number 7, Bullet Heart. So this is interesting. I have not seen it. Oh, it's level 99 game, so it's like this anime-ish art with probably some card play. Usually a lot of their games have card play on it. I haven't played either of my level 99 games, but they are generally, I think, decently rated. Space heroines defend planet Earth in falling block battles. That's interesting. It's kind of lightweight, 10 to 20 minutes. And it's a Kickstarter with anime theme, of course. Push your luck, variable real-time power. So that's interesting. I think the anime art, for shoot 'em up action puzzle, I would say it looks decent. Probably similar to the other level 99 art, Persona Information. Wait, Hawaiian. So they've got some sort of like, it would have been interesting if they had some existing IP. It's good they put together a tabletop simulator one. So I guess you're gonna have like these falling blocks that happen based on some sort of card player, variable player powers. Be interesting to take a look at this one. I don't expect to see it climb too high, just because I don't think either. Maybe Argent is on the top 100. but I don't think Millennium Blades is anymore. Maybe it still is. Anyway, that is number 7, Bullet Heart. Number 6 is Cubitos. So we've seen this one a number of times before. Its average rating, or its new ratings, are coming down, which is bringing down the average. Makes me think that this is not gonna end up. If it is in the top 100, it'll be very brief. Even though I like the look of this game, I think it's not gonna. It doesn't seem to have at least the attraction of the hype yet that maybe like Space Base did, which is an amazing game. If you haven't played Space Base, it is incredibly fun. I think it's John Declare's best game. So that is Cubitos. Number 5 is Maglev Metro. So we talked about this one last week. Kind of that it looks really good, and actually some people commented that it looks really good, but I think the gameplay may just not be as solid as some of other Ted Alspach's other games. But it is an amazing looking game. So if you want a really good looking game that is, I think, pick up and deliver and route building, this might be it. That's Maglev Metro, number 5. EO. This is interesting. So this is new. And I've not seen this one before. So this is Thundergrift Games. How did I miss this one? So Thundergrift Games has done few other, two other really big games I think that I know of. Cartographers and Role Player. They have some other Role Player. I think they did Lock Up and some other stuff, but their two big ones are the Role Player and Cartographers. So this was another Kickstarter one, Matchbox Collection. Okay, so it's like a small box game that I guess you can get a playmat with, which is kind of unusual. Those meeples are kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of like a fighting deck builder. I don't know. Let's see what it says here. Hand management, solo solitaire game. Is it really only one player? A 1 to 2, but it plays best at 1. So that's kind of interesting. It's a good year to be putting out a solo game, although hopefully things will be getting a little bit more back to normal later this year. I don't expect this one's going to go up too high in the list just because primarily solo games don't tend to do that well. And, we had the big solo game this last year, which was the Space Invaders one. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like the Space Invaders solo game. So that's number 4, EO. I don't think we'll be seeing too much of this in the future. Number 3 is Flourish. So this one is also new. Don't recognize any of these people. It's probably a Kickstarter game. So it seems like a lot of these Kickstarter games are getting delivered early this year, which is good. Maybe they were produced over the holidays. Finally, it takes quite a long time for them to get to the distribution centers in the countries and then finally get delivered. It can take a month or longer in some cases. So this is a card drafting garden game with easy to learn competitive strategy. So weight of 2, 1 to 7 players, and 20 to 60 minutes. So that's interesting that it plays so many people. I do like the artwork and the look of the game. I like that they put something either on Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia so people could play it. I think that really, I would say, helps a Kickstarter. I think a lot of people, I know some like first time Kickstarter. If you're running your first time Kickstarter, you may be wary of it, saying people maybe won't want to get your Kickstarter because you have it on Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia. But I think it's exactly the opposite. And I think Jamie Stegmaier had a video on this, how digital versions can really enhance the ability, because most board game players don't want to play on a computer. That's why they buy the board games. They want to play, in person. They want to have the, I would say, the social interaction and the physical nature of the board game. While it is great that we have things like Board Game Arena, Tabletop Simulator, we have apps which allow you to play the games when you otherwise couldn't. I don't think it replaces having the board game. And a good example of this is I really like the Terraforming Mars app. I like the side app, but I still own both the board games. I have all the expansions, etc. I think it's a good looking game. I can't really comment on the gameplay, but they did do a nice job producing it, and the artwork I think looks really nice. So we'll have to see. It's kind of a lighter weight game, and it's doing mixed on reviews so far, but maybe in time we'll have to see if it shows up on the list again. So that's number 3, Flourish. Number 2, Solomon Kane. So we saw this once already. It is doing phenomenally well. Probably expected. The first people rating this are probably going to be the most excited backers, but even getting an average new rating above 9 is surprising for even a first early Kickstarter delivery. So if this is, if this holds up, this could be maybe one of the highest rated Kickstarters in recent times. And we'll probably see some reviews for this soon. So that's Solomon Kane, number 2. And number 1 is Stardew Valley, the board game. So this one, I didn't even know they were making a board game of this. I guess I like playing Stardew Valley sometimes. I played through part of it. I don't think I completed the main quest and figuring out all the stuff. I know my kids play it. And you have a cat in the Stardew Valley box, which is just amazing. That's a perfect picture. You'd see it sold out everywhere because the price is going pretty high. I'm assuming they're going to reprint it. I think there was a couple printing issues in the game, which hopefully they'll correct in the next printing. And I do think it looks, like Stardew Valley. It looks like a Stardew Valley game. They have this tray, which I heard works really well. And I think it's good that they took all the artwork from the game because the game looks really good, for the type of game it is, and put it into a board game that lets you, I think, build a farm just like you did in Stardew Valley and talk to the people in the town. I don't think this is going to keep showing up on the list, though. I mean, maybe for a few weeks we'll see it, but the ratings have been very good, but not strong enough where I think it would propel it into the top 100 guaranteed. Maybe it'll sell, maybe the next springs will come out and it'll sell really well, but I think this is going to top out in the top maybe like 250 or 500 as an IP game. So that's it. Number 1 game this week is Stardew Valley, the board game. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe. Please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.